A club in the Keweenaw Peninsula has been helping to maintain the deer population in the area for decades. They do something called supplemental deer feeding. Local 3's Brianna McLean talked to the group about why they do it, and it's not for reasons you might be thinking.
For most people, having over 100 deer in your yard isn't usually something you see every day. But for Richard and Cynthia Marsh, they are no strangers to seeing so many hooves. As members of the Calumet Keweenaw Sportsmen's Club, they are a part of a decades-long project started by the club called Supplemental Deer Feeding.
These deer, they travel here in the wintertime because the snow depths, as you go further up into the Keweenaw, just get too deep. They come down here, and historically this is where the hemlocks and the cedars were that they would migrate down to for wintering, and that because hemlock and cedar is like the best space for them to winter. So they've been coming here, of course, with development and everything else that's been going on. That has changed a little bit, and a lot of the hemlock and cedars that they would winter in are gone, and in order to help them, we've been doing supplemental feeding.
Marsh says winters in the UP, specifically in the Keweenaw, have been getting longer and more severe.
The DNR recognizes a winter as severe for deer if there's more than 12 inches on the ground for more than 100 consecutive days. In the last 11 winters up here, there's only been 3 that didn't fall into that category as severe, and a lot of those have been back-to-back. And traditionally, a back-to-back winter like that would cause a huge overwinter mortality rate with the deer. So we're trying to avoid that overwinter mortality.
The club follows the Michigan Department of Natural Resources guidance and direction regarding supplemental deer feeding. The practice is allowed in most areas across the UP from January 1st through May 15th.
As a club, when we total up where we're feeding, that we're feeding about 1,000 deer a day. As we get into the, once we get into like February, we'll be feeding about 1,000 deer a day at our various sites. This site, we're currently at about 150. And by the end of February, we're usually closer to 350.
Marsh says there is a lot of misunderstanding when it comes to supplemental feeding.
A strong misconception that we are feeding them strictly to fatten them up so that we can shoot them in the fall. That is so far from the truth. Our goal has been and always will be to try to improve the deer herd, sustain the deer herd, and those are really the two things. Try to get them through the winter healthy so that they have healthy offspring. Otherwise, if we stop feeding, the first severe winter here in the Keweenaw, we would probably see anywhere from a 20 to 50% mortality rate the first winter.
The Calumet Keweenaw Sportsmen's Club purchases over 40 tons of feed every season, which can cost up to $30,000. As a nonprofit organization with no government funding available for things such as supplemental feeding, the club relies on donations for purchases every season.
It's hard to say what's the better solution. I mean, some would say, well, let nature take its course, and it is what it is, which is easy for somebody, that's not watching a deer starve to death. I mean, we see it. Even here feeding it, we will see deer that show up in March or April, and we know when they show up, when they come up on top of the ridge, and they're in here with the other deer, they're not going to make it.
The club seeks donations for deer feed for the winter feeding season all year long. If you would like to donate or learn more about the club, you can do so on KewenaWSportsman.org. Reporting in Keweenaw County, Brianna McLean, Local 3 News.